Good evening and welcome to the Stockbridge Selectboard meeting for December 14th, 2023. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And at this time, we're going to do a moment of silence for the passing of Mr. Piacco.
We're going to read I just want to read a brief statement on John's passing. As buzzwords go, one of my favorites is giving back. John never needed to give back, as he gave his entire life. He gave as valedictorian right here in this building at Williams High School, as teacher, as coach, as leader, as father, as mentor. He lived a life writ large, a life of modesty, a life peppered with so much accomplishment because for him, to accomplish was the rule and not the exception. Running cross country for John often involved a 10-mile journey down Monument Valley Road from the high school to 183 and back. We'd have to keep up, keep stride, match wits the entire run. It was cardio for the body as well as the mind, an hour amidst the bucolic beauty that is the Berkshires. It was, without question, the best part of those autumn days so long ago. The word virtue comes from Latin, which originally meant the qualities desirable to be imbued within one's character. Like the last page of a tale from the classics, John's life has come to an end. May the memory of John long live on for his selfless devotion to the town of Stockbridge. Thank you.
Okay, special permit hearing to consider the application of David and Ruth Epstein for property located at 17 Mackinac Terrace. I move that we open the hearing to consider the application for special permit public hearing for David and Ruth Epstein of the property located at 17 Mackinac Terrace and waive the reading of the notice and incorporate the notice into the minutes of the hearing. I have a second?
A second.
Roll call vote.
Hi, Patrick. Sorry.
Hi, Chuck.
Hi, Jamie.
Okay, so following procedure will be followed. Testimony will be limited to the issues directly related to the subject matter. Only one person will be permitted to speak at a time. All discussions will go through the chair, and there'll be no arguments between parties. Will not be permitted. Okay? Somebody here to present?
Good evening. I'm Alex Glover. I'm the attorney for Ruth and David Epstein, who are third square from the left.
Hi, Ruth. Hi, David.
This is a special permit that they're seeking a special permit for a change or extension to a pre-existing non-conforming structure. This is their home at 17 Mackinac Terrace. They are seeking a permit to add a 113 square foot wooden deck that second floor, so it doesn't have stairs to the ground, unenclosed, nothing but safety lighting, no roof. It would be supported by a single 6x6 post on the ground. They have already obtained a order of conditions from conservation and a special permit from the planning board for an alteration in the Lake and Pond Overlay District. I don't have a copy of the signed special permit yet, but it was granted, I believe, November 21st. So the property in question is 2 acres. It was.
I hear you.
Everyone mute.
So try to see if that's. Try not to block this one, I'm sorry. So the property in question is non-conforming in terms of its size. So in the R2 district here, it's supposed to be 2 acres. And it's also non-conforming in terms of frontage. It has 90 feet of frontage. The existing house has been there for many, many decades. So by definition, it has pre-existing non-conforming or legal non-conforming status. There's also a garage on the property. What they're doing here is seeking to add this deck, and if I could ask, this is Brian Sider from Foresight Land Services. And Brian has a blow-up of the plan that was in the special permit package.
It's folded.
Yeah,
but,
it's faster if Brian points right here.
Yeah, so the deck would be within the confines of the existing corner of the house. It's no closer to the property lines or the lake than the existing structure.
So you've got the waters here, roads out there, and this is the existing house. Under the zoning bylaw, by definition, this is not it's not an extension or creating a new nonconformity because it is staying in line with the closest point of the existing structure. So I would submit to the board that the determination we would request that this board make is it is not more detrimental than the existing structure. I'm not aware of any abutter input. I don't know if the board's received anything, but as far as we know, there's no concern from the neighborhood about the plan. Does the board have any questions?
That's next, that's my question.
I did, if it's of any assistance, if the board makes the explicit findings required for a special permit, I did put suggested findings in there. That's never intended to supplant the board's judgment. Some boards find it helpful, some don't. So it's submitted with respect.
Any questions from the board?
I have one.
Yep.
On page 3, you state no lighting other than access lighting at the door leading to the deck for safety purposes or landscaping is proposed. What does that mean, access lighting at the door?
Can you explain?
Well, it just means that you'd have basically a floodlight facing down at the door. So it's not facing out, it wouldn't be projecting light, it's for safety, exiting the door.
Right, and the only reason I bring it up is that we haven't focused on lighting as a condition in the past, and we have had complaints where we have some sort of, massive LED lighting structures and floodlights, frankly, and things that can be seen clear across the lake, even at the southern portion of the lake. And I would like, in fact, it is my intent, not to permit decks that have light pollution. There's an impact on wildlife, and I know that's not our thing, but I think there's also an impact on the neighborhood. And I would like to minimize, kind of external nighttime lighting to agree that it's reasonable for the client, not trying to be a jerk. I just feel like we're not, it's a rural town and dark is good at night. And, there's one in my, and this is not for you guys, but there's literally one that has on a motion detector that's in my neighborhood now. And if you're out walking your dog at night, these giant floodlights come on everywhere. And I want to kind of just, not see it. My first question is there a way to provide the safety lighting without necessarily using floodlights? Kind of LEDs along the bottom or something by the door. And would you have a problem with us not, as part of the permit, really not allowing, LED style, kind of decorative lighting or giant floodlights or that sort of thing, because it's really been sort of a problem at other
So I understand that concern, and I'm on the planning board in my town. We have that concern all the time.
Right.
So all that's being requested here is literally a light that would be downward facing for ingress and egress. I don't know if there's other safety lighting that would be requested as part of it, but it's not an intent to illuminate the area. It's an intent to have what's necessary for safety.
But as I'm sure you also know, as both an attorney and on the planning board, that properties change hands. And if you don't condition them, then if we don't explicitly state it, then the next owner might not be so responsible and might do something else. And that's why, it's not meant at all to be confrontational, these kind of things. It's just a matter of, frankly, I don't want to see it.
I think that it would be completely in line with the application to have, if the board's concerned about that, to have a condition that it's limited to downward facing safety lighting.
Okay.
Let me just, Ruth and David, is that satisfactory to you?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, that sounds fine. I mean, I think what we were just contemplating was the light on either side of the door, again, for safety purposes. I don't think we were thinking of a floodlight.
Okay,
Okay.
So it's just an entry light.
yeah, that's great.
Well, they're thinking of two, I
Yeah.
guess.
So my proposal would then be, and this is a discussion, I'm not giving you an ultimatum. My proposal would be that we just condition it based on a couple of safety lights by the door. And if that's acceptable to you, I have absolutely no problem with this.
Yeah, that's what's requested in the application, so I think that would be fine.
You guys okay with that?
That's in the application.
That's in the application.
But I mean, but we're going to condition the application so that it can't be expanded. That's my point.
If they're agreeable to placing it as a condition.
I mean, I guess if there were going to be a condition that would say cannot be expanded, obviously, they could come back
Yeah.
and file for an amendment.
Right.
But I guess I'd request that it just be limited to safety lighting. For example, what's requested, the two lights, I don't know what needs, but could come up. But again, there's no staircase down to the ground. There's just.
I get it, but the more vague it is,
Here.
obviously, the more it's up to interpretation. I'm asking what you want.
Yep.
You just tell me now what you want, and that's what
Yep.
we'll put in it. So let's have that discussion if you want.
That's what I would request, is that an acknowledgement that the application asks for these two lights at the door for safety purposes, and that it's limited to safety lighting, I guess is
Well,
what I
why
would
can't we
ask.
limit it to the two lights at the door if that's
Well,
what you want?
you could, I mean, you asked what we would request, that's what I would request. But that is that's what's planned in the application. I guess my thought is, and I know that's what Ruth and David had assumed would be the two lights. My thought is, what if someday they want to get rid of the two lights and have a single light?
Or less.
I wouldn't want to have it, well, yeah, the single light. I don't think they want to have no
Well, two
light,
lights or
'cause
less. All right.
I'm hoping that for the board that this is a somewhat minor project.
It is, but seeing lights across, especially floodlights across the
Right.
lake is not minor for a lot of people. And it's not just the butters, it's literally people there, you can see some of
Yeah.
these, like literally,
That is not this project.
I understand, but that's, the intent of the current owner is not what I'm concerned about. It's
Right.
basically, yeah.
Are you going to take comments from?
Yes. Hang on.
Okay.
Okay, got any comments or? You all set with that, Patrick, or?
I think so. I mean, are we agreed that, we're gonna kind of.
You're not to the point of deliberation.
Right, okay, so,
You
yeah, so-
haven't agreed, now you need to hear.
Agreed is right.
Okay,
General public.
ask if anybody wishes to speak in favor.
I'm not speaking in either. This is Kate Fletcher from the planning board.
Yeah,
I just want to make a comment. We have a lighting bylaw, and I would suggest that we follow that.
yeah, sounds good.
I mean, it sounds to me like what you're discussing is quite a bit weaker than our actual lighting bylaw.
Two safety lights, Kate, how so?
I don't have hold on a sec, I'll pull up the wording. If you want to take a comment from someone else while I do that.
Anybody else in favor? Anybody opposed?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
6.21, outdoor lighting. Outdoor lighting shall be kept to the minimum intensity needed for ground and entryway lighting. All outdoor lighting facilities or lamps shall be shielded in such a manner that A, the edge of the lamp shield is below the light source, B, direct radiation, parentheses glare, from the light source is confined within the boundaries of the property, and C, direct radiation is prevented from escaping toward the sky. For the purposes of these provisions, light sources include any refractor, reflector, bulb, tube, or globe. High-intensity discharge lighting is prohibited. Any outdoor lighting fixture already installed on the effective date of this section shall be brought into compliance with these provisions within 1 year of the effective date.
Wow, that's great. So that takes care of all that.
Well,
I mean, it covers, I mean, that's the bylaw.
Minimal lighting possible is what we're proposing. I don't see that there's a
so can you live, well, okay.
conflict.
Yeah.
Here's what I would propose if it would make the board more comfortable and in light of Ms. Fletcher's comment, is to, if the board were to consider granting the permit with the condition as the lights we've described, 2 lights for entry, downward facing and in compliance with, and then have that.
Well, you gotta be in compliance with this, so
I-
shouldn't have to be a part of it. That's the bylaw.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I move we close the evidence portion of the hearing and move to deliberate by the board. A second?
Second.
Roll call.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Chuck.
Hi, Jamie.
Okay.
Good. So I motion to approve with the bylaw that, with the condition that Attorney Glover, right? Yes, just proposed.
A second. All those in favor?
Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Chuck.
Hi, Jamie.
Okay, you're all set.
Thank you all very much. Have a good evening.
Hearing an application for all alcoholic beverage, general premises hotel license application under MGL C-138-12 for Coco Lulu Hospitality Incorporated, DBA The Inn at Stockbridge, located at 30 East Street.
Did we join you?
Yep, let me read my stuff. At a hearing an application for all alcoholic beverage, general on-premise hotel license application under MGL C-138-12 for Coco Lulu Hospitality Incorporated, DBA The Inn at Stockbridge, located at 30 East Street. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Oh, are we,
Roll call.
oh, hi, Patrick. We're actually, this is open hearing. Yeah, hi, Patrick, sorry.
Hi, Chuck.
Hi, Jamie.
Okay, you're on.
Thank you.
Hi.
Attorney Grace Enchel and Attorney Lori Robbins. As you know, we're here representing Coco Lulu Hospitality, doing business as the Inn at Stockbridge. And here with us are co-owners Nicole Croyder and Gary Croyder. I have large format plans. They were submitted with the application, but just to orient you, I have copies. These are the proposed premises to be licensed.
Thank you.
And just to orient, we have East Street here and the main building, and in front is a special event tent and the pool area. The Croyders purchased the inn in January of 2023 and have been operating it since. They've invested in refurbishing and renovating the inn, and part of that is to enhance the guest experience by providing alcoholic beverages or service. They would like to serve alcoholic beverages in the main house's restaurant and lounge areas, as well as outside in the fenced-in pool area and under a special event tent on the lawn. They've just recently obtained a variance to have a larger sign, as the business is so far set back from Route 7, it's not visible from the street. And I have copies of the TIPS on-premise alcohol server training certificates for both Gary and Nicole. This was not submitted with the application, so I'd like to submit these officially, please. Thank you. And I'd love to take any questions if you have them about the application.
Any questions from the board?
Yeah, now, are you also applying for an entertainment license? Do they have an entertainment license?
We do
Yeah.
an entertainment.
Yes.
Okay, and what's the, with the outside, is the entertainment license cover the outdoor areas? Okay, I'm not necessarily opposed to this. I mean, and you're in this neighborhood, so you know better than me. Are these outside areas with basically running, an outdoor bar? Is that going to be consistent with the neighborhood and okay with the neighbors? Because that's what we're permitting
Yeah,
here.
now that the tent is for special events, which
Yes.
you will come in for, they have to come in for permits for those events or weddings and stuff? or-
No.
If they're under a certain amount of attendees, and they don't.
How much
Then
does
they
the tent-
don't.
How much did the tent hold?
The tent is 150 maximum.
And you have parking on site for that many folks?
Yes. And we have
It's I've been there quite a few times. It's
Yeah.
very,
some spaces represented there.
So we could be having 150 folks basically year-round here, and how many, what's the capacity of the pool?
The pool is estimated 50.
not year round, it's the tent.
Oh, excuse me.
The tent in winter.
Probably be, so the pool maximum of 30 people, it's pretty much what the occupancy of the guests and the hotel are. The pool area would only be to hotel guests.
Right, and I'm talking about the intersection between the sort of creating basically what is a outdoor bar and restaurant, and the intersection between that and the entertainment license in terms of, potential noise issues. So I just wanted to kind of get a sense of how late it might go, and, not trying to,
It's 11 o'clock unless you come in.
Yes, so we
otherwise.
can discuss
Yes.
hours of operation. And he would like to serve some mimosas in the morning, so 8:30, but to 11, not any
Yes.
later.
No later than
11
p.m.
No matter whether there's weddings, special events, or what have you. He would agree to a maximum of 11 PM.
and we,
And that's consistent with other
That's-
operations that are in
Right.
residential neighborhoods within the town.
okay.
Um,
And you're sure the outdoor part is going to be okay with
Yeah,
the neighborhood?
my brother's across the street, he couldn't make it. He's 100% behind us.
Good.
Good to hear.
He's right across the street.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Because he had met with some of his abutters to
Yeah.
discuss what he's doing.
I mean, it's in the back, it's on the
Yeah.
way.
Turnpike.
You got the turnpike in the way, so your brother's up, unless you
Yeah.
hear music, so you hear the trucks going by all the time.
Exactly.
We've installed a beautiful fountain as well, so that's some more sound barriers
And
there.
there's no other really close neighbors who
There's
might,
really no
No.
I know it's kind
very
of,
space neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right.
okay. All right, great.
Any questions? Anybody speak in favor? Anybody opposed? Seeing none, I moved,
Right here.
Close the hearing.
I move to approve tonight.
I move that we approve,
Can we close it first or no?
I'm trying to, it doesn't say in here.
No, we just.
Michael, do we need to close the hearing first? Not that it
No,
has a purpose.
first we approve and then we close.
All right.
Okay, somebody can move to approve. You want to make a motion?
Second. I'll
Okay.
second.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Chuck.
I, Jamie.
Okay,
No,
I make the
this-
motion that we close public hearing. And second roll call.
All right.
Second.
Second roll call.
Patrick.
Oh, hi, Patrick.
Hi, Chuck.
I, Jamie.
You're on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be up,
Hey,
not go walk.
I was gonna say.
Moved on to the next thing, sorry. All right.
Okay, another one. Okay, hearing pursuit to section 410 of the town of Stockbridge short-term rental bylaw for 7 Hawthorne Road to determine the continued operation of the property as a short-term rental within the town of Stockbridge. Have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Chuck.
I, Jamie.
Applicant here to present.
It's the town.
Town, so that's you.
Yep. All right, so right now, calling to attention to the board that we continue to have a violation of our short-term rental in regard to 7 Hawthorne. For the town, it is specifically the advertisement that the advertisement has at multiple times. As you know, under our bylaw, each day that there's a violation is a separate offense. There's been multiple violations. There's been notices sent out in the past that say that advertisement is limited to the size of the septic, which is 6, and this has been advertised at 8. And as of now, we've had enough violations to say to the board that the board may want to consider what action it may want to take as far as improper advertisement of a short-term rental for greater than its septic system allows. So, yes.
Okay. Any questions from the board? We're not deliberating this
Well, you
question.
have Mr. Eisler, I believe is online.
He is,
He is, he's looking to unmute.
Yep.
He is,
No,
let's see.
he was right there, and I think he's sharing his screen now.
Yeah, he was way at the bottom. You could see it.
So I don't know if he's still here.
Owner of the property.
Yep, the owner of the property, if he wishes to.
I mean, there's an LLC that owns it, but I think he's the operator of the property.
So do we have to go through this stuff? So,
Yeah, in this case, I should have included because they're the ones
Oh.
that are, and then any comments
okay.
for, against, or.
Okay,
Mr. Eisler, you should unmute if you would like to talk.
I can unmute them.
Mute. Okay, I think unmuted.
And then stop sharing your screen,
Oh, stop sharing the screen.
unless you have something to share, yeah.
Stop share. Oh, I'm back.
There we go.
I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, you can hear me?
yep, go ahead.
Okay, so in the past year, my wife and I have been in residence and the place hasn't really been rented at all, possibly 5 or 6 days in the last year. From a septic standpoint, we're way under 100 gallons per day and we're allowed 330. But, and we basically did change the advertising to say 6 adults. But I just changed it back to show you that we never, ever had online the ability to rent to 7 or 8. Right now, I changed the ad to say sleeps 8. But the idea basically was that if you had 6 adults and children 1 or 2 years old that are in diapers, the diapers wouldn't have a major effect on the septic system. But you can go online right now. I changed it back to sleeps 8 and put in 8 adults. And what VRBO automatically does is take you to a different house. You cannot book this house with any more than 6 adults, and you never have been able to. And the whole thing is like, you know, a total misunderstanding, I think, on your part or whatever. Basically, I'd like you to go online. I can give you, you know, it's VRBO 3044348 and try to book it to 7 or 8 people. It's impossible, even though it says sleeps 8. The idea was that if you had children, you know, under the age of 1 or 2, the parents would be able to keep them in the room with them, basically. So, I mean, you know, our septic system usage, like I said, is probably, I know, in the 60, 70 gallon per range, probably a lot less because the house is only, in the last year, the house was only used 4 months in total. So we're not polluting. We probably have the least amount of usage of anybody in the entire area. And we certainly are respectful of the, you know, we've changed the thing back to 6 like you would like to see it. We did have sleeps 8 on it, but you could never, ever book 7 or 8 adults. The other 2 had to be young children.
So I will
That's the
point out,
story.
so I will point out that our bylaw, it doesn't matter what you can register, whatever, it's what you advertise for. And the advertisement, as you can see here, this is a screenshot and it clearly says sleeps 8. That is a violation of our
To
bylaw.
show you, if you try to book it for 7 or 8 people, it's impossible.
Your advertisement,
Mr. Eisler, there's
Can I say
50,
something?
I'm sorry.
Well, okay, we haven't used the house in the last year anyway, since you complained about it at all. Okay, so we haven't been renting to 7 or 8 or even 6 people, whatever. We just haven't been renting. Actually, the house is on the market for sale. But
That's not
we do
screenshot.
have some people coming this New Year's, and it's a group of less than 6 adults. And there's no reason. I'll change it back to 6 like we had, well, an hour ago. I just wanted to show you that it was impossible to book for 7 or 8 adults, basically, even though it says sleeps 8, and we never have.
I just want to point out that if we've asked you to do 6 and you continue to do 8, and even though your
We haven't, we
Well,
changed.
I get to finish. Thank
All right.
you.
Apologize.
It's misleading to people and it's not honest and it's not advertising accurately. And we have to be accurate and honest. It does not say 6 adults and 2 children. It says 8 people. So it's just has to be very clear and honest.
I
That's what
clearly
we are.
understand what you're saying, and the house has not been on the market for the last year at all. And we haven't been renting, and we did put it back at 6 people. And the reason it says 8 right now is I just wanted to show you that it was impossible to rent this 7 or 8. And then I will change it later tonight back to 6.
Okay, go ahead, Patrick.
The problem isn't whether it's possible to rent it at 8, it's whether at a high price when you advertise for 8, and I've seen ads, Mr. Eisler, for more than 8 people in the past. I don't know what you're referencing. I've actually seen ads with significantly more than 8 folks. And what that does is in effect sends almost like a dog whistle out saying, even though you can only book it for 6, wink, wink, you can bring 10 or 15 people here. And that's what we have a problem with. And I think that that's what the neighborhood has a problem with. And that's what I personally have a problem with.
The house has not been rented, and we're not renting it really right now anyway, so. we do have-
Why is it advertised?
I mean, this New Year's.
Okay, hang on. Go ahead, Mike.
So in the past, right, it was advertised for more. We notified him with a violation notice. Changes were made, it was reduced to 6. Last spring, it was back up at 8. We informed again, violation notice, you cannot advertise for more than 6. He took it off, it is true, he took it off during the summer, it was off. And then when he put it back on, once again, the advertisement stated sleeps 8. So he's been informed numerous times by the town, please, sir.
Hang on.
Been notified through violation notices that he was advertising for greater than he should have.
And that's just the ones we know about. There's 50 short-term rental platforms. I have no idea what the other platforms are.
Yeah, but
Patrick,
let's not go-
you can only act on what we have. What we have is
Yeah.
we have a clear violation. We noticed the violation. We asked him to correct it. He did. Then he undid the correction. We notified him again, undid the correction. And now we notified him again. This is 3 strikes. This allows the board now to consider whether or not it wants to renew the ability for him to register as a short-term rental.
For the period of time that the correction was undid and it was a mistake, the place was not available to rent for a full year.
So
We
we
did
don't
not
do
rent, it
these
wasn't available
in
to
favor.
rent.
Opposed.
Just,
We don't
you know,
do those.
maybe it got put on somehow, I don't know.
Right.
It wasn't even available.
We don't do those.
It's a hearing. People speak.
Okay, so we'll move on. It's asked if anybody wishes to speak in favor.
In favor.
In favor of,
If anybody wants to speak in regards to the violation.
into the violation. You gotta come up, state your name and your address, please.
And no arguing.
Stephen Stern, 4 Emerson Lane. The bylaw calls for people, not adults.
What was that again?
The bylaw that you wrote, the board wrote, calls people, not adults. I'd like to specify that. So there's no difference between a child and an adult staying. It's not as if.
Correct. You know,
Right,
yes.
we're not.
Okay, now there's been a distinction being tried to be made here, so I'd like to point that out first.
Yeah,
The number of ads on each date that you see it is multiplied by 2 because it was both VRBO and Airbnb. If you need, I have screenshots. That's it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else wishing to speak? Okay, so, we deliberate between us?
Yeah, now you can decide whether or not the board wants to take action. You could do everything from not allow. You could allow with conditions, or you could just allow. So,
My opinion be it's pretty much the 3rd time he's been going through this, correct?
Yes.
I'll make the motion that we deny.
I second.
Those in favor?
Aye, Patrick.
Aye, Chuck.
Aye, Jamie.
We can't hear you.
I made a motion to deny the
Yes.
renewal.
Thank you.
Okay, you have to close it.
Make a motion that we close the public hearing. Do I have a
Second.
Roll call.
Aye, Patrick.
Aye, Chuck.
Aye, Jamie.
Okay. Now we'll go through the easy stuff. Take actions on change of officers, directors, LLC manager for the Stockbridge Golf Club. You got anybody here for that? Who we're changing? Do we have that here?
Yep, we should have all those right here for, this is just change of managers. This board by author approving it, will send it to the ABC. They'll do their checks on the manager and everything else, and then the approval will come back. So,
I make a motion that we approve the change of managers.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Take action on change of officers, director, LLC manager for the trustees of reservation. I make a motion that
Come on, who
we.
is that? Who's the change to? I'm just curious.
I have to get the form.
Can't find the paper.
Do we second it? I'll second it.
We can vote to approve while you're looking it up. That's not a condition. Aye, Patrick. Aye.
Chuck.
Aye.
For trustees of reservation, manager Brian Cooley, change of
Should we do this one
officers.
first?
Well, that just means they had a change of officers in their board.
Oh, at the trustees. Okay, got it.
Yep, in the actual trustees. Yep.
Okay,
I think we should continue with these. Like that.
okay, annual alcohol and entertainment license renewals.
Are we going to skip the rest of the board?
Oh, we'll come back to that.
All right.
I'll make a motion that we accept all the applications for annual alcohol and entertainment license.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Request to include the Stockbridge Land Trust in the annual report. I'll make a motion that we accept that.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Report on the public boat ramp usage. What is that?
What is that?
That's something that
Just
kind of came
Gary
up.
Kleinerman had submitted to us
Oh,
the,
that.
the use of, and it was in your packet.
There was like a little chart.
Yeah, I'm trying to, it's 41 pages, so I'm trying to find the page. So,
No, it was tiny.
yeah, it was one page.
Yeah.
Where was it?
Wait,
I wanted
I
to-
got it.
Just wanted him, the board, to be aware of all the boat how many launches happened.
Been a long day.
And just a comparison. So it was more an informational one, but I just wanted to get it to the board.
Okay.
And that there were 4,900 launches. Launches of powerboat were 356. Launches of non-power boats were 4,544. So, you know,
And that's the guys that are at the little booth, you know, when you sign in to go.
yeah, those are the, oh, sorry, I'm reading that. Those are the total boat launches, and then they have boat launches by local town beaches. So Stockbridge was 530. Lennox was 1,022. So you can see that list down below. So nothing big here, just a submitted report to the Board of Selectmen about the work that's done up at the boat ramp.
Michael, Chuck,
What's that? Yeah.
Michael, most local boating enthusiasts know not to put their boat in Laurel Lake and then take it into another surrounding lake. With the recent outbreak of zebra mussels at Pontusic Lake, which is a far more popular lake, I wanted to know if there's any plans that either the town or the state has to ramp up either quarantine or enforcement or boat washing, or to make sure that people know that these are larvae that come from the zebra mussels are microscopic in size. And it's going to become far more important because of the popularity of that lake, that we take every effort possible to protect that lake from contamination by boats coming out of Pontusic or other lakes. So do we have any plan on that? I mean, obviously I've advocated for the expansion of the boat ramp. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great that we are, providing a better service there. But, I think that the recent disclosure with the problems at Pontusic are something we have to be really careful about, because I know fishermen who have gone between, Pittsfield Lakes and Stockbridge before.
So what are you asking?
Yeah.
I'm asking, do we have a plan
To do
Don't we
what?
have a zebra mussel
We have a
station?
requirement that they are to wash their, according to the zebra mussel,
And we have those guys.
right at our
that-
boat ramp.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
You can't do much
So-
more. I mean,
Well, we can make sure, A, it's staffed all the time, which, it's just basically, I just think we need to be a little bit more cautious based on this infestation because of and I think we need to explicitly ask if folks have been in Pontusic Lake in the last year, I just think we need to.
What are you at? I'm just,
I'm looking for enhanced procedures to try to, obviate an infection coming from another lake into ours. I think it's much more of a.
well, I mean, that's not a discussion here. That's not maybe instead just what is our plan for next year and bring something back to the board. I mean, here, you're just
could put
throwing this
on-
out. I'm not sure how to answer your question at this point.
Can we put on the agenda?
We have a boat launch.
I'm not trying to be accused.
No,
I'm just asking the question.
I hear your
because of the-
concern. We have the
A
boat
question
wash.
that, right, hasn't
Boats
come
come
up
in,
yet,
they
was the
wash.
first, yeah. We have a boat
If we
launch.
have
thing.
to-
Have people wash our boats. It's required before putting them in. We have a manned boat launch station. I mean, yeah, if you're looking for expanded hours and other stuff, whether you want consideration for that for next year,
You have to go in next year's budget.
something we can consider. I mean, it's just not, really prepared to
Not
talk
on-
about, yeah.
Not on the agenda.
I didn't mean to, guys, I didn't even think of it till 20 for 6. I was just connecting the dots here and, but I think, let me rephrase. I think we should
Look at.
look at ways to further protect the lake.
There you go.
Based on,
Right.
based on the
Even by the
real
next meeting, I
concern.
could talk a little more about
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you're, sorry.
We can discuss that in our budget meetings.
Okay.
Okay, and this is something that popped up. Department of Fish and Game interested in acquiring property for open space.
Just wanted the board to be aware of it, considering the purchase of land in Stockbridge. So the letter was just included. There's really no action by the board to take. We just wanted the board to be aware.
I would actually propose that we respond to the letter and say that we support it. It's basically wetland over by Lake Agawam, right at the edge of that calcareous fence. That's why they want to.
I don't think it hurts us.
What?
It doesn't hurt us for them to take it over.
No.
Right.
No.
Okay.
So, all right, yeah, if you want me to submit.
I'll be drafting.
saying that-
If that's all right.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion that we
Support.
support
Letter of
their
support.
letter of support of their endeavor.
All right.
Can I ask a question, Chucky?
Yeah, I think I'll let you.
Thank you. So the DCR is acquired, they're interested in one property or other properties, speaking generally, properties.
It's just this
9
one at
acres.
this point. It's
Just one.
nine plus minus acres. Local map 2024 1-5.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just the one piece right now. Okay. Take action on the minutes of October 6th, 26th, and November 11th.
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Paint stewardship bill presentation? You're sitting here over there in the dark? Didn't know you were there.
Trying to be quiet. Thank you for seeing me.
A name and,
My name is Tom Irwin, and I'm a resident of Dalton, and I'm a member of the Waste Management and Recycle Committee, and as such was tasked with decreasing the total waste going to our landfill. So as a former engineer of 30 years, I did my homework, and I learned about paint care, and with study, figure that it's probably the linchpin that would cause a cascade of other EPR laws that would help our waste management system. Unfortunately, because the law is only going to save us $2 million a year, which is wonderful for all of us as individuals, but chump change for the state. And because there's really little to no knowledge of the law, that it has not actually had action despite being presented for consideration in the 6 previous sessions of legislature. So when seeing that, I recognized that probably the missing piece was the fact that there was no grassroots effort. So I embarked on doing that in the western half of our state. And we've had tremendous success. We've got 3 times more legislators on board this time than ever been. We've had more attention from the leadership of the legislature than has ever been had. We just recently had a legislative briefing at the State House in that regard that was well attended, including from the Speaker of the House. But in order to cap this whole thing off, it's going to be important that the legislature sees that the towns care. And for that reason, I'm asking that you folks consider passing a resolution in favor of the paint stewardship bill that is currently before the legislature. I have shared information with you folks. I don't know how much got through. It looks like you are looking, right? Those are my general comments.
Yeah, and then that was the whole packet.
Yep, there's additional information in there. In brief, I think that the key is what's the need? There's 5.9 million tons of trash generated every year. Tremendous amount. There's only 3.2 million tons of incineration capacity, and the remaining 2.7 million tons have to be transported out of state.
Massachusetts or?
Massachusetts alone. The total waste in the United States is 294 million tons. So at any rate, all of that has to be transported to either Western New York, Ohio, or South Carolina. Obviously, that's a tremendous cost, and it's also a significant carbon footprint. So that's the reason that this is to be considered, because stewardship laws are a mechanism by which we can divert this stuff and it doesn't go to landfills. So why paint stewardship? Well, and what is paint stewardship? Paint stewardship is the ability of individuals to go to their local participating paint retail store with their paint that they want to get rid of, put it on the counter, pay nothing at that point, and walk out. The paint doesn't get discarded by those stores. What it does is get collected in totes, and it gets shipped to a reprocessing plant where 80% of it can be brought back to the standard of new and then sold at less than 50% of what it cost originally.
Does it cost to store anything?
Yeah, they have to store it in a bin.
But they don't cost them to ship or anything?
No. What we as consumers, what we end up doing is we pay an extra 75 cents to $1 in 11 or 10 out of the 11 states to have the paint reprocessed. And that fee covers the hauling and the reprocessing at a plant. And when I've gone and gathered over 3,000 signatures myself from a variety of communities throughout the Berkshires, the Pioneer Valley, and Worcester County. And
where are these plants?
We have a plant in Hanover, Massachusetts called Recolor. And there is a plant in Amsterdam, New York called Green Sheen. Clean Harbors, which Connecticut and Rhode Island use, have a plant in Virginia that they tend to ship to. Actually, Maine also uses Clean Harbors. So that's where the latex would be shipped.
Okay. I'm going to say, is it just water-based or is it oil-based too?
Both. Okay. If it's architectural paint, anything that you'd use in your home, on your furniture, floors, deck, walls, or the exterior of your house, all that architectural paint can be just brought into, I'll say Sherwin-Williams, but it's a euphemism for all the small stores. You can bring it in, drop it off any day they're open, no questions asked, just that it's still liquid, original can, original label.
Cool. Go ahead.
First, have any other select boards, endorse this in the county? Not that's conditioned.
Nope, Dalton has.
Dalton has.
And I'm on the front edge of already having approached 15 communities. I've got bunches of
and my
presentations.
And the reason I ask that and it may be a stupid question because it may not be realistic, but is there an opportunity for the communities to fund stewarding this issue in the absence of passing this law? Could we basically come up with a more proactive way to deal with this type of waste?
It would be basically a simulation of what the law might provide.
Right.
It would be a little bit more expensive per can. I priced it out because Recolor, the institution in Hanover, will actually send trucks out here and we can hold an equivalent of a household hazardous waste day, only this would be for latex. We could gather the latex and it gets shipped back.
Right.
We can use, I think it's called RDP money. that the state gives out to municipalities based on how much they've accomplished in recycling and so forth.
Oh, right.
And Northern Berkshire Solid Waste Management District is an endorser of this law. That's 15 towns, but not necessarily their town governments per se. They are on board and they are entertaining having such a day in 2025.
And I would also encourage you, just when my dad passed and we renovated the house, I still have 10 or 15 gallons of paint in my basement that are just left over half full from 8 years ago. And I'll tell you, it'd be easily worth my while to spend an extra couple of $5 a can just to get it out. I don't know what to do with it, and I think there's a lot of folks who wouldn't mind supporting an effort like this, just to be able to deal with it and actually, kind of as part of the drop off, either make a payment or suggest a payment that would help cover the cost of dealing with it, because you're right, I don't know what to do with it.
It turns out that it's $4.50 a can, the break-even cost. If B-Color were to come out here and do a collection.
Okay.
I have polled people and found that somewhere between $2 and $3 is kind of the break point where people would be enthusiastic. So RDP money that made up that difference would be the cat's meow.
Okay. I like the idea.
And if you folks wanted me to, I would be happy to arrange at a spot, whether your transfer station or whatever, I can coordinate with Recolor and create such a day for you.
Yep.
So it'd be my pleasure.
I would love that. I don't know if you
I think
guys.
it's a great idea.
Yeah, me
I
too.
think we should move forward.
Because we all have paint
See how it
left
goes.
over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend endorsing this.
So I'd say, I think we should send the letter that you're requesting. Do you have a sample letter that is in here in the packet?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
There's a
So I
sample
think we-
resolution.
Yep, I think we send the sample letter and we work.
I thought it was an
Or is it
online,
this form?
I thought it was
Is
the
this?
online,
Like
Well,
this?
there is that is the
I
endorsement.
could go in there if you guys approve me,
Yep.
to go in there. and-
That is the endorsement form, but there is also because what we want to do is get this law passed. And in order to get the law passed,
No, I have.
there is an additional form that would be a resolution. And I have that all laid out for you folks. And if, and that carries greater weight because that would actually get sent to the Ways and Means Committee where this thing has died previously.
Yeah.
Any questions from anybody in Zoom?
I have a question.
You again?
Yeah, me again. So,
Okay.
thank you. So this differs from household hazardous waste day, which we have currently, in that you can bring your
Recycle.
leftover paint into the store to dispose of it?
Correct. Yep,
Okay.
as long as it's an original can with original label, you bring it in, you pay nothing. At some household hazardous waste day, people drop quite a few dollars in order to be able to get rid of their hazardous paint waste.
Then you can do it any day you want.
And
not
it's
a
right.
Limited
Exactly.
time.
But we're going to endorse the legislation, but it may not pass. And what we were just discussing was an alternative in the meantime where we could encourage folks to recycle paint through the process that Tom, right? Tom?
Yes.
Tom has identified. So it's kind of a 1-2 step here.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion, we have Mike do what he has to do. And then
If you guys vote to support it, I'll draft up the resolution for you to sign.
We'll discuss the
Go
other-
online and fill out.
I'll be happy to send that electronically.
We'll discuss the other options at a later date.
But,
In favor?
Aye. And just a question, is it typically Green Communities or Conservation Commission? What advocates within town government are you working with? We've got a Green Communities Committee, we've got a Conservation Commission. Who would you recommend kind of, in fact, we have a member of the Conservation Commission sitting right up here at this table.
You may have,
I'm more talking about like for the local.
well, and it also is the impact. The greater the noise, the greater the listening.
So if the Green Committee did that form,
Correct.
also,
If you take a look at this document and you look at the
In the
back,
packet,
we'll
right?
look into different options and
Right.
how we can support.
you'll notice that there are green communities in this column and the towns in this column. And it's the weight of everything together. Our green community in Dalton, of which I'm also a member, will be sending in a endorsement as well.
No, I mean, I think it's good.
Great. Well, I really appreciate it.
Because it's
And
so hard to get rid
may I
of paint.
share my card with you? folks?
Absolutely.
And it's better than people dumping it in
Yeah,
the
throwing it in
dump.
black bags and dumping it.
Yeah.
Right now, right, they want you to open it, dry it out.
Correct.
Right, but recycle it.
You folks may be,
how I can help.
oh, sure.
I don't have cards.
You may find it interesting that the towns bordering our state that have paint retailers in them are bombed with Massachusetts residents bringing their paint to them to discard.
Oh, that's funny.
At the
Is that a
end,
better solution? No, I'm kidding.
people want, well, the people, there's a couple of things that are drivers in the people that I've spoken to. One, they want to do the right thing. They don't want to put it in the landfill.
Right.
And the second thing is that, they've got 3/4 of a gallon of paint. If you ever try out 3/4 of a gallon of latex paint, that's an act of God.
And to keep it for, until you get to town as once a year as their.
For the household hazardous waste days. Right.
Then you gotta make appointments and have times and
Right.
you don't get in.
Absolutely.
Thank you for,
Thank you.
this is like a labor of love, obviously, and, thank you for doing this. Every little bit helps.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. And
It's my opportunity to
we'll
pay back.
definitely, move forward with this.
Thank you. And I'll look forward, if you folks do, if it does not pass, as you've suggested, Patrick, and you guys want to do that, I'll be happy to organize it for you.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks again. Have a good night.
Okay, program and project reports.
Did we miss the rest of the?
Yeah, we'll do that
Yeah,
next.
we're doing.
Oh, we're gonna do that last? All right.
What was this?
Projects and, program and project, or just to bring the board up to date on a couple things. People may have noticed the horse trough has
Oh, you
left town.
I didn't, I go through every
It
morning.
just vanished, the highway department working, it's now with Vern.
I wanted to
Power.
thank Kate Fletcher for, I heard it fell off the rope and she grabbed it before it smashed to the ground. Amazing, Kate, really just
I
amazing.
know, that's why I do those morning exercises, so I'm ready for those.
Yes. Yep.
Michael didn't want me to be there, but I knew there was a reason.
Always welcome to be there, Kate. It's being restored. It'll be restored over the winter and then returned to the town in the spring if everything goes according to plan. The Fountain Committee will be working with Vern on the exact plan. Once he has it there, analyzes exactly the crack. There is a major crack running along the width of it. And that's going to need to be addressed. And Kate, if there's anything you want to share further that because I know you spoke briefly on it, but right now it's coming up with the plan and how to do it. But it is out of town for right now. And if it goes according to plan, we'd have it back in the spring.
Yeah, no, we're really excited. I've been in touch with Vern and he's busy with a Prospect Hill project right now, but as soon as he has an opening, which he said would be soon, then I can go over to the studio with Fountain Committee members and take a look and hear what he's thinking. One interesting thing is that he said, so the marble in this area is known as the Stockbridge deposit, Stockbridge marble, and that goes as far north, I think, as southern Vermont. And his comment was he thinks that the trough itself is Sheffield marble, which is a little less dense than Lee marble, and he thinks the back of the trough is Lee marble.
I make a motion, we replace the marble with Stockbridge marble.
I think
It
it can't
is
flex you
all-
would have done it.
It is all,
I'm offended.
it is all Stockbridge marble, Patrick. The
Oh,
entire
okay.
deposit is Stockbridge marble.
All right, well, that's good.
It's a
I have a
question,
question for you, Kate.
yeah.
What causes marble to crack in the first place?
Well,
It's like just where the weather?
weather and
I mean,
water.
rumbling of trucks, all the sort of like kind of the things that happen. And the reason I'm asking is, we're taking this out. Is there any, if this is a bad idea, I haven't thought about this, I'm just asking a question. Is there any way to kind of seal the ball basins so that a new crack doesn't emerge and so we don't spend all this money to kind of fix it and then sort of just see a new crack in another area come through and we have to do it again? Is there any way to kind of, while it's out there, create a way to make it so that if it cracks in another place, we don't run into the same problem all over here?
So the first thing that is important is that, which we have not been doing ever, to my knowledge, And, oh, many thanks to Hugh Page, who oversaw the moving of the trough. Hugh did a beautiful job, slow and easy. And, but I've talked to Hugh about this, and it will be important once it's finished to have a cover over the basin itself, because right now, snow and rain and water is getting in there and it's freezing and, unfreezing and then freezing again. And that's
In the
not.
winter, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we'll have a cover over the basin, and that should definitely help protect it. It turns out that there's this, it's almost like a heliport pad underneath. We didn't know. I'm guessing Mike Buffoni knew because he was involved when they redid that area of the roadway. But there's a very solid concrete pad underneath the trough. And, we'll have some more conversations about whether we need to think about drainage a little bit in that immediate area. But we've already got a plan for plantings to make it, to look more green behind the basin. Right now, there's just these stones there, and a lot of people asked for plantings. So we'll be working on that too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Other programs and projects, well, one more with the cat. All the pieces of the cat and dog are done, so we should be reassembling and have the cat and dog fountain back up and operational for this spring. So in an ideal world, we'd have both of them back for this spring, and that would complete that. The road project on Main Street.
Just on cat and dog, just out of curiosity, Kate, I know that you're taking, I assume, taking the lead on sort of, even if it's modest plantings, are we going to do any plantings around the cat and dog this year with the anticipation that we're going to have it installed in the spring? Laurel Hill used to do the plantings, and then.
So we actually have a donation, so that it turned out when we found out that both the trough and the cat and dog were owned by the town, that's when the project moved to a town committee. So as part of that, we have a donation, and we're going to be doing plantings. We have funds at the town hall in an account to do plantings both for the watering trough and the cat and dog. And we will definitely come up with a plan to show you for that immediate area around the cat and dog. There's sort of a 3-foot perimeter, I think, that's roughly what it is. And then the area behind the watering trough will come before the select board with a plan.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think when it's all said and done and all planted and up and running, I think maybe one of our selectmen's meetings, we start it there and have a little ceremony.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll break the champagne.
Yep.
I have to bring megaphones, but
Other project, we had the downtown crosswalk project has been completed. Now, that was one phase of it. The other was supposed to be the blacktopping, Prospect Hill, a bunch of roads.
Been completed,
And everything this year got too cold too fast. So we have extended it. The paving will happen prior to Memorial Day as we come out of winter.
So will they pave over the crosswalks that have been built out and then paint everything?
We're not paving Main Street.
No, we're not paving Main Street.
Okay.
But we'll be repainting.
You'll be
Paving.
All right, so it's not done. It's
a paving project
Right.
that were included in the bid that was also the downtown. So if you remember, the downtown had a grant attached to it. The work had to be completed by December 31st of 2023. So the work was completed. And therefore, we'll submit for reimbursement on that grant for that project. And then the other phase of it, which we had originally put out a code red saying that we would be doing paving of Prospect Hill and a number of other roads. That's going to be delayed until the spring once we come out of the cold, but it will be with no later than completed by May 24th, the Friday before Memorial Day. So we'll have paving happening in the spring instead of the fall. Just wanted the board to be aware of that.
Okay.
Rest of the river, discussion of transportation options.
Just before we move on from projects.
Yep.
Are there any other projects you just want to mention? We did hire Granicus, on the short-term rental.
Sure, we can go through a bunch.
Hey, just like the highlights, the best of.
We have, we've hired Granicus to to be able to track all short-term rentals in the town of Stockbridge. So we'll be having, that'll be up and running shortly. We have our senior work-off program up and running.
Great.
So we're going to be putting out to begin January 1st, as we discussed before, once it passed town meeting.
What are the job roles?
Right now, we're starting with advertisements for positions within the Council of Aging. So if people are interested in possibly doing instruction or assisting with the operation of the Council on Aging, they can apply for positions. We are in the final stages of design of the new salt shed, because the salt shed was technically, ordered to be replaced by the building inspector after an independent review. So we're working within that time frame. The final design, we'll now get bid prices on it and then look at going out to bid to do that. The Tuckerman Bridge is the Chapter 85 is being submitted for its Chapter 85 review. And then hopefully very shortly, the second Everett Road will be submitted for its Chapter 85 review, and then move that toward projects. So we have a number of projects that are all moving forward at this point, so.
And just so folks know, also we're moving forward with the shared service on the building inspector, and they're advertising and interviewing candidates to fill in the couple openings you have.
Yeah, that program's actually up and running, but it's not running the way it should be running, because we only have 2 of the 4 positions that we need to get filled. We hope to at least get to 3 of the 4, which we should be efficient then, or able to provide the full range of service.
We have 2.
Ideal is the 4. Right now, we are understaffed.
Right, we have 2 guys doing the building inspection work that we have staffing, for 4. And so just folks should understand that, Matt's working really hard, and I think it's just important for folks to know that we have an active plan to, to fill that in. And he actually has a bunch of resumes already that he's interviewing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and as we discussed, that, it is, Great Barrington's doing the interviews with Matt Kohler, our commissioner, and we're looking to fill those remaining positions, and then we'll be fully up and operational.
Anything else that's on the project side? No? All right.
Okay. Rest of river discussion of transportation options.
Yeah, I wanted to get to you guys you have a copy of the draft letter being proposed by,
can you share it?
By the 5, that's what I was just working on.
Great minds, Michael, great minds.
I think at one point I got logged out, so I gotta log back in. And there we are.
Hungry.
So we have a draft letter here from the 5 towns that are being impacted. So right now, this is in draft format. We're gonna get comments from all 5 of the boards, and then have a final one that could be signed and sent. So if you want me to read it, I can read through it, or if you wanna just, if there's any questions, comment, or the rest, how would you like me
Wait
to?
for the official one to come out.
Yeah.
I think you should post it and let folks comment, but I would like to give Michael permission, if there's no substantial change, to send this at the earliest convenience with the February 1 deadline for a comment period. I think it's really important that we kind of,
I'll second that.
yeah.
Do you wanna, I don't know if you've all had time to fully digest it, or if you would like to come back with any comments by the next.
Well, I think we can give it to you.
Yeah.
We can still.
We can still send it to me,
Because
right?
it's still in draft.
Yeah. And I think that's why I would say post the draft to the website, so that if anyone else has a comment.
Yep. We'll have it posted and we'll get comments back, and then we'll see where this goes on the 28th.
You want to wait till the 28th?
Yeah, why don't we wait? I don't see why we
That's
can't put
different.
that on as a quick item for the
Right.
28th.
Yeah, that'll be quick.
Yeah, and we'll see if we get any comments.
seems
So I will
fair.
have it, I'll try to get it posted up there tomorrow. If not by Monday, it will be posted on our website where anybody can comment on the letter.
Okay.
I just wanted to thank the delegation. Efforts are underway with Smitty and Paul Mark to really take the lead on some of these issues. And I just think it's really important that we have, strong leadership and partners. And I wanted to thank them for starting to weigh in on these issues. Yeah.
And that'll be a separate
I understand.
letter coming.
I know.
This one's
saying
the 5
use all the
towns.
help we can get.
And then do we have executive session?
Is there anything else? Does anybody else want to, I mean, because there's some people who've been on to talk about the rest of the river. I don't know if you want to ask for comments.
Not at this point. Let's put the letter out. There was, they can comment on 28th.
Yeah, I think the 28th is good.
Okay, executive session to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining with the DPW union. And the chair declares that an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the bargaining of a public body and will not be coming back into open session.
So do we adjourn?
Second?
I second.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Chuck.
Jamie.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good holiday.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.